Okay, and welcome back. This video is going to be about testing all the servos that we have before we try to put any of them in the airplane. And I like to do that with a test box. I create these and reuse them too. So have the left wing and the right wing, and note that's left, that's right, because as you look at the servo on the wing, they're upside down. So that's the right wing, that's the left wing, that's the throttle, that's the elevator, that's the rudder. And that's the position they are in the airplane. The three here, the position here on the airplane when you look down from the top, I guess from the tail side of the airplane. And I got all the wires hanging out here. And I've also labeled each wire. First off the left wing, and you can just tug on it, make sure it's the left wing. I've got the extension on it, and I decided to use an 18-inch extension. I measured the 9, it wasn't long enough. I measured the 12, it wasn't long enough. So I'm going to use an 18-inch extension because I like a little extra wire so I can easily put the wing on. So I've got an 18-inch extension, and I've got electrician's tape holding that together. Okay. So the electrician's tape will be good enough to hold that together. So, and I've labeled this left aileron aux 1, and I always use the white painter's tape for the left aileron, and the right aileron is on the blue painter's tape, and that'll match eventually the extensions that I put on the receiver. Those will be 9-inch extensions. So I got left aileron aux 1, right aileron, which will go in the aileron channel. And I've got the throttle, elevator, rudder, and that's the 5 servos. So the other thing I've decided to use was the standard 3-wire switch harness. That's the Spectrum switch harness, and used this many times. Works very well, very reliable. And the other thing I'm going to use is, because I want to test all the wiring that goes into the airplane. I want to test all that in the box and make sure all the wiring works. So I'm going to go ahead and install the telemetry module's voltage sensor, which goes between the battery and the on side of the switch. So the switch I've labeled, this is the off side of the switch that you would use for charging. This is the off side of the switch that goes to the battery. And so the off side of the switch has the 2 wires on it. The on side of the switch goes to the receiver. And so actually that will go to the okay, let's see how we do this. The on side of the switch should go to this. And oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. From the battery is going to go into the blue one that I labeled off-side of the switch battery, because you don't want any power to it yet. So that goes in first. That's where the battery will plug in. Okay. And then on the on side of the switch, we'll take the sensor wire, which has both a male and a female side connector to it. So on the on side of the switch, I'll plug it into one side of the telemetry wire. And on the other side of the telemetry wire is going to go into the gear channel, because we don't have a gear, and all the other channels are going to be used except aux 2. And remembering that the black wire is going to be up, I plug that right into the gear channel. Okay. So that will supply power to the receiver. And and then I can turn the switch on and off to make it easy for me. So the battery is connected, and that's all the wiring that will be in the airplane from a battery perspective. And then I guess I can go ahead and plug in all the other wires here. Start with the left aileron, which goes into aux 1, which is right next to the gear channel. Black wire up. And then we've got the rudder channel next. I'm just going to do them sort of in order here. So the rudder channel on the other side of the gear. Black wire up. Okay. The elevator is next. And then the, oops, I plugged the right one in. Okay, that's the throttle. I want the rudder. That's why you label them, because they all look alike if you don't label them. So the rudder, labeled rudder, goes into the rudder channel, labeled on the receiver. Okay, and the elevator is in the correct one, and the right aileron will go in the aileron channel. Okay, and last but not least, got to have a throttle. Throttle goes in the throttle channel, and the data bind port will have the telemetry module sitting in it, and I'll do the telemetry module later. There'll be a whole video on the telemetry module and how to program it and all. And so that's everything plugged up and in. And let me stop for a second, get my radio, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with the radio, and remember this testing has two functions. One is test all the wires are not broken and work well. Test all the servos are working. To get the arms centered and put on, and then to do any programming changes on the radio, because we might need some of the servos reversed or whatever. Okay, so in the previous video you saw that I all I did was create a model, named it, and then you saw in the video that I did one other thing, which was put in the flaperons. So we will test the flaperons here as well. So I'm going to turn on the radio, let it get warmed up. Receiver sitting right there, and so the first thing I'm going to do is turn on the receiver and center all the servos at the same time. Okay, you can hear them all go zip zip, and the lights are on the receiver, and so that looks good. Okay,